Good morning to all of you. So in this class, I am going to discuss about 20 rules on increment and decrement operators in C programming and challenging programs for gate and placements. So increment and decrement operators. Increment operator is used to increment the variable value by 1. It may be post-incremented or pre-incremented. It is represented with the double plus symbol. So for example, post increment operator can be represented I plus plus. That means I is equal to I plus 1. Pre-increment operator plus plus means plus plus I. That is equal to I is equal to I plus 1. In the same way, decrement operator is used to decrement the variable value by 1. It may be post decrement or pre-decrement. It is represented with the double minus sign. Represented with the double minus sign. So, for example, post decrement operator, that is I minus minus, that is I is equal to I minus 1. Pre-increment operator, that means pre-decrement operator, that means minus minus I. So I is equal to I minus 1. I is equal to I minus 1 we can use. Right? These are the pre-increment and decrement operators. So, but when you are using that increment and decrement operators, what are the main advantages? The first advantage is it improves the execution speed of the program. But instead of using expressions, operator itself can increment the value 1 by 1. That's why. So it increases the execution speed. But what are the rules we can apply on increment and decrement operators? Because so these are very confusing operators, right? For example, you see that in the first rule, in any expression, post increment or post decrement means value of the variable is assigned to the expression first and then variable is incremented or decremented next. So first rule is what? In any expression, post increment and post decrement means value of the variable is assigned to the expression first and then variable is incremented or decremented next. For example, you see that in the first program. So int I is equal to 5 and m is equal to 5. Here is we are initializing two variables and m is equal to m plus I plus plus. That means it is a post increment. It is a post increment. So print %d m comma I. But here is when you see that what output we can get. So the output is m is equal to 10 and I is equal to 6. Why? Because here is the first I value is assigned to m. So first I value is what? 5. The 5 is assigned to m. That is the m value is 5. 5 plus 5, that is equal to 10. After assigning this value, next I will be incremented by 1. So this is the post increment. So then here you see that I value is 6 and m value is 10. So this is the post increment. In the same way, in the post decrement, and here is int I is equal to 5 and m is equal to 5. M is equal to m plus I minus minus. That means the first I value is assigned to m. After that, I value is decremented by 1. So that is the reason. So 5 plus 5, that is equal to 10. And here is after assigning this I value to m, I is decremented by 1. So then 5 minus 1 is equal to 4. But in the same way, suppose you see that in both the cases, m value is same and I value is differs. In the first case, I value we got 6 and the second case, I value we got 4. But most of the people, what they can think, So then here is, so that is they can use that 4 I minus means 4 minus 1 like this, right? This is the first rule. And the second rule, you see that in any expression, pre-increment or pre-decrement means value of the variable is first incremented or decremented, and new decremented value is assigned to the expression next. That means here is the first value of variable is incremented by 1. That incremented value is assigned to the expression. In the same way, first the value is decremented by 1. The decrement value is assigned to expression, right? For example, you see that int I is equal to 5 and m is equal to 5. The same program we have taken. M is equal to m plus I. Printf %d m comma I. So when you see that the first I is incremented by 1, that means what is the I value? 5. 5 plus 1 is equal to, so then 6. This 6 incremented value is assigned to m. So m value is 5 and pre-increment value is 6, and 5 plus 6, that is assigned to m, and I value is 6, that is I incremented value is printed. In the same way, in the decremented value, int I is equal to 5, m is equal to 5, m is equal to m plus minus I. This is the pre-increment. So printf %d and %d, then we are using that m comma I. Output is m is equal to 9 and I is equal to 4. That means here is first I value is decremented by 1. After that, the decremented value is assigned to m. So that is the reason. So I got m is equal to 9 and I is equal to 4. But most of the cases, suppose without knowing the difference between this pre-increment and post-increment, or pre-decrement or post-decrement, when you use the variables, there is a chances of getting a wrong results in the expression, right? This is the second rule. And third rule, if pre-increment and post-increment operators are used individually in the program, both are printed same values. That means if pre-incremented and post-increment operators are used individually in the program, both are printed a same value. That is equal to, for example, you see that int I is equal to 5 and j is equal to 5. We are using I plus plus. It is a post-increment, plus plus j. It is a pre-increment. But individually, these two are used. That's why we can get the same value. That is I is equal to 6 and j is equal to 6. I is equal to 6 and j is equal to 6. So that is the rule. Fourth rule. If pre-increment and post-decrement, if pre-decrement or post-decrement operators are used individually in the program, both are printed same values. If pre-decremented and post-decrement operators are used individually in the program, both are printed same values. That is same thing, you say that int I is equal to 5, j is equal to 5. I is equal to I minus minus. This is the post-decremented minus j. This is the pre-decremented. But when you are printing the value, for example, print I comma j, then we can do both the cases. We can get output is I equal to 4 and j is equal to 4. So there is no difference. But whether you can use the pre-decrement or post-decrement or pre-increment or post-increment individually, so the result should be same. The result should be same. So this is the fourth rule, right? Have understood that? So in the fifth rule, if all operations are post-incremented on the same variable, if all operations are post-incremented on same variable, then all are incremented first. All are incremented first, and last incremented value is printed for all variables. That means if all operators are post incremented on the same variable, then all are incremented first, and the last incremented value is printed for all variables. For example, you see that here is the int I is equal to j is equal to 10. So printf j is equal to percentage d, percentage d, percentage d, percentage d, like this. But here is, so that is the, here is these operators are associated from right to left. The evolution of increment and decrement operators will be done from right to left, right? So you see that plus plus j, plus plus j, plus plus j, plus plus j, plus plus j. But here is first all j values are incremented from right to left. So plus plus j means that is a plus plus j, plus plus j, plus plus j, and plus plus j. So first all 5, that is the same variable we are using 5 times. So then what is the initial value of j? J is equal to 10. 10 plus 5. 10 plus 5 means 15. So after that, all the values 15, 15, 15. That is the final value is 15. All variables will be printing 15. For example, you see the output is j is equal to 15, 15, 15, 15, 15. But most of the cases, the people are thinking that, so that is the variable is, so you can say that 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 after 15. But actually here is j value printed only 15, 15, 15, and 15. 1 minute. So I think you understood that. That means the fifth rule is most of the students, they may be confused. So you see that if all operations are post incremented on same variable, that means JJ like this, then all are incremented first, and last incremented value is printed for all. That is how many pre-incremented values are there. So then here is all of course. So that is the pre-incremented, or sorry, here is the answer is that is the pre-incremented. So that is the pre-incremented. Sorry, that is a pre-incremented value. So if all operators are pre-incremented on the same variable, then all are incremented first, and last incremented value is printed on the thing for all. So that is int j is equal to 10. So printf, when you are using 5 times the j value, so then automatically, so you can get the 15, 15, 15 like this, right? So that is the pre-increment. So sixth rule, if all operations are pre-decremented, if all operations are pre-decremented on the same variable, then all are decremented first, and last decremented value is printed for all. For example, you see that int j is equal to 10. We are taking that. So minus minus j, minus minus j, minus minus j, minus minus j, minus minus j. That means here is evolution should be from right to left. So that is the value decremented 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 like this. So after that, the final decremented value is printed for all the j values. You see that the answer is 5, 5, 5. So the simply you blindly you can remember that. So that is how many times p decremented? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is the initial value? Is 10. So 10 minus 5, we can get the 5. So that is for all the j's, you can get the output is 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. So this is the sixth rule, right? So that is the pre-decrement. So then when you are using that ij value within that, so then you can get the 5, 5, 5. But most of the people, what they can think, so that is that 10, so that is they can expect that 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, to 1. But exactly when you are using the pre-decrement or pre-increment, only the finally incremented or decremented value is printed like this. In this example, you can get the J value is 5555 like this, right? So seventh rule, values are printed from right to left. But when you are using that so that is a increment or decrement operator, the evaluation must be done from right to left, not from left to right. But almost all operators are evaluated from left to right. But when you are using the increment or decrement operators, these will be evaluated from right to left. Right to left means first this will be executed, and next this will be executed, and next this will be executed, next this will be executed, and next this will be executed. So that here is the first value is printed here. But here is when you are using post increment. So that is here is we are using a post increment. Post increment means, so then here is the first value is printed, after that the variable is incremented. So what is the I value here is I, the initial value is 10. So first 10 is printed, and next after that I is incremented by 1. So then you see that here is I is first print, that is as a 10, and here is the 11, and here is the 12, 13 and 14. So that means you see that here is, you see that in the 14. So suppose the first one is the right to left. First this value is printed. I plus plus, that means first I value is printed 10. After that I is incremented. Next that comes to this place. But here is I is 11. 11 is printed. After that I is incremented by 1. And next here is the 12. And 12 is printed, incremented by 1. So next to that is the 13 and 14. So like this, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So the seventh rule is, you see that values are printed from right to left. But most of the people, what they can do, that suppose when you are given this kind of program, so they are giving values from, that is the 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That is wrong. But here is the values will be from right to left. Here is the value will be printing the 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14. So this is the seventh rule of increment and increment operator. And same eighth rule, the values are printed from right to left, suppose in the decremented. So here is int j is equal to 10, print j minus minus, j minus, j minus, j minus minus, j minus. That means here is 5 values are there. First this last j minus minus will be printed. That means here is first 10 is printing. After that value is decremented by 1. That is the 9 is printing. After that 8, 7 or something. So that is the 10, 9, 8, 7 and 6 are printing. That means here is the variables. So that means here is first j minus 1. First j value is printed. That is the j value is what? 10. 10 is printing. After that day is decremented by 1. So then we can say that it is a 9. 9 is assigned. So after that j minus, that is the 8. So then like this, 10, 9, 8, 7 and 6. Right? I think this is the 8th rule. Now class తీసుకున్నాను. 9th rule. 9th rule is pre-increment always prints value which is sum of initial value plus number of times the variable is incremented by pre or post. Right? The 9th rule is, you should know that pre-increment always prints the value which is sum of initial value plus the number of times the variable is incremented by the pre or post increment. So then you see that k is equal to 10. Printf. Here is how many times I use that post increment. Suppose here you see that plus plus is there, plus plus. That means 2 plus pluses. The last one it will verify. That is the post increment is there. So then here is it takes. So that is the 1 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 increment operators are there. So that's why here is it prints 15 and next it prints 15. So after that decrement. Suppose you see that 15 and 15 because the pre-increments operators. So next one is already 2 pre-increments means here is that will be 1, 1. That is the 10 plus 1, 11, 11 plus 1, 12. So after that post increment we are using. So then here is, so that is the 12 is printed after that. So the 12 is incremented by 1 and 13 is printed and 14 is printed. You clearly observe that. So when we are using the pre-increment, always prints value which is sum of initial values plus the number of times the variable is incremented by post or pre. Here is you see that initial value is 10 and the number of variables we are using is 5 increments, whether it may be pre-increment or post-increment. Among these, the last one you see that pre-increment. So then both pre-increments will be printed 15. That is a 5 plus 10. That is 15 and 15. So after that, when you coming to this one, but already 2 increments are there. That means if you, so that is the 10 plus 1, 11 plus 1, 12. So then here is a 12 is printed. After that 12 is incremented by 1 and next that will be 13 will be printed and incremented by 1. So then 14. So the output should be like this: 15, 15, 12, 13 and 14. Just to you see that there is a, so you should understand it very clearly because there is a lot of confusion in this. But when you are asking this question in the competitive examinations, but you should think that, right? So, but when you are using like this, first you see the last variable and then you do. So rule number 10, post decrement always prints the value which is a difference of initial value plus number of times the variable is decremented by pre or post. Pre or post. Sir, class తీసుకుని మళ్ళీ చేస్తాం. గుడ్ మార్నింగ్, క్లాస్ తీసుకుని మళ్ళీ చేస్తాం. So that is the post decrement always print the value which is the difference of initial value plus number of times the variable is decremented by pre or post. For example, you see that int 10 is equal, k is equal to 10. So how many times we use the decrement operators? 5 times. So then you see the last one. You see the last one. So the last one is k minus minus. That means a pre-decrement. But when you find the pre-decrement, it counts the number of pre-decrements 1 and 2. So that means here is 10 plus 5. That is 10 minus 5. Then here is you can get the 5. So that's why here is the first it will be print 5. Next 5, 5. After that is the post decrement. After that we are using post decrement. That is a k minus minus. So then here is we are getting. So that is the k minus minus means here is the 2 decrements are there. So that is the 10 minus 1, 9 minus 1 and here is 8. So then 8 is printing. After that 8 decremented by 1 and next 7 is printing and next 6 is printing. The output you can get 5, 5, 8, 7 and 6. But you should that there is some confusions, right? But always you should think that is the last one. So this is the 10th rule. So next you see that 11th rule. 11th rule. So in the 11th rule, so that is the mixing of increment and decrement operator. Mixing up. So that is mixing up pre-increment and post increment. But here is you see that at the last one is the last one is what? Post increment and next to pre-increment, next to post increment, next to pre-increment and post increment. So when you are using alternates, so then here is we can get. So the last that is always considered the last one. So here is the post increment means, so the 10 will be printing as it is. After that, 10 is incremented by 1. So here is the post increments are there. Wherever you use the post increment, it will print the total initial value plus total number of increments. For example, totally how many increment operators I applied? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's why here is I got 15. After that, suppose if you want to print this value, so that is in the right side, how many incremented variables are there? 2. That is, here is the 10 we got, and next plus plus means that will be getting 11 and 12. So then here is the value is printed 12, because here is m is 10. After that, it is incremented by 1 11, but here is the pre-incremented 11 plus 1 12, and here is that is printing 12. And the next here is the post pre-increment is there, again 15 as well as. Our next one is here is when you see that post increment 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is equal to 14. 10 plus 14, we are getting 12. So this is the 11th rule. Suppose whenever I am using a pre-increments or post-increments in a mixture, so that is a mixture of pre-increment and post-increments. So the first one is, it's the last variable, what it is, either it is a pre-increment or post-increment. If it is, this is the post-increment, that's why it follows the rules of post-increment, and pre-increment means wherever you use that pre-increment, and that will be taking, so that is the initial value plus total number of pre-increments or post-increments. That is the reason, and here is we got 10, and here is we got 15, and here is we got 12, and again 15, and next to 14. This is the 11th rule on increment and decrement operator. So next 12th rule, in mixture of post and pre-decrements, a mixture of post and pre-decrements. So that is the pre always total number of values minus initial value. The pre means the pre always total number of values minus initial value. The post decrement depends on number of right side. Post decrement depends on number of right side decrement values. For example, you see that here it is n is int m is equal to 10, and here is I am using 5 decrement operators and the 5 decrement. So that is the 2 are pre-decrement and 3 are post-decrement. But when you see that the last one, always this will be printing right to left. So that is m minus minus. This is the post-decrement. Post-decrement means what is the rule? First m value is printed. After that, value is decremented by 1. So then here is 10 will be printing. After that, minus, that is the pre-decrement. So when you are using the pre-decrement, the initial value minus total number of decrement values. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is 5 minus 5, you are getting, sorry, 10 minus 5, that is equal to 5. So then here is, this is the pre-decrement. So value we are getting 5. So after that, here is again we are using post-decrement. Again we are using post-decrement. But when you are using the post-decrement, it says that what are the how many variables at right side. For example, here is, we can say that it is a 10. After that, it will be incremented by 1, and again we are using the pre-increment, again incremented by 1. So that is the 2. So that is decrement, sorry, decremented by 1 1. That is the 2. So then here is 10 minus 2. When you are using that, here is, so 8 will be printing. After that, pre-decrement is there. Again we are getting 5. So wherever you find the pre-decrement, you can get the initial value minus total number of decrement operators. And the m minus minus means we are getting a 6 of this. So this is the 12th rule. I think you understood that. So now you see that in the 13th rule, in post and pre-increments. Pre always total number of values plus the initial value. The post increment depends on number of right side increments operators. For example, you see that in this example, the last one is the pre-increment, right? Last one is the pre-increment. So then how many pre-increments are there? 1 and 2. That is the first one, and last one is the pre-increments. So the pre-increments means, so the 10 plus 5 increments, that is the 15. The first one you can print the 15, and the last one you can print the 15, right? So then you see that here is that will be printing 15. After that it comes to this place, n plus plus. N plus plus means in the right side how many increment operators are there? 1. So that is the 1, 10 plus 1. And here is the post increment means that is the n value is assigned first, after that incremented. That is you are getting 11. So next here is when you come to that at 12. So that is the 10 plus these 2, that is the 12. And after that here is at 13. That means this value is what? 1, 2, 3. So 10 plus 3, here get 13. So that 13 is assigned. After that it will be incremented by 1. So clearly you observe that. The next 14th rule. So suppose that the same one, if all are decrementing operators. So int 10 minus 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 n minus minus n minus minus. Ma class తీసుకున్నాను మా తర్వాత రండి. N minus 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 n. But when you see that the output is 578, 1 minute. Sorry for the disturbance. So then we are going to get 5. That is the last one is a pre-decrement. So that's where 10 minus 5, that is equal to 5. So after that post is, so that is the post decrement. So we are after right side only one decrement is there. So that's why 10 minus 1 we are getting 5, 9. And the next here is when it comes to this. So the right side of these 2 decrements are there. So that's why you can get 8. And because it is a post decrement, n minus minus are same thing. So whatever in the place and the same thing we are using like this. And the 15th rule, suppose in the 15th rule, the mixed one. So that is the increment as well as decrement. Suppose when you are using the increment and decrement operators, always it is the right one. It's the right one. So then you are getting always 10, 11, 10, 11, 10. How do you get this 10, 11? So that is the first one is 10 and the last one is what? I plus plus. I plus plus means it is a post increment. Post increment means first I value is printing. That is what is the I value? 10. After that it will be incremented by 1. So then 11. When it comes to this and here is whatever. So that is the here is after incrementing that it will become 11. First 11 is printed. After that it will be decremented by 1. So decremented by 1 means it goes to 10 and first 10 is printing. After that it will be incremented by 1 and the next here is that is here is printing that 11. After that increment, so you can get 10, 10, 10, 11, 10 like this. So here is all are post the mixing of increment and decrement, alternate increment operators and alternate decrement operators. That is the post operators. I understood that, right? So that is the 16th rule, the same thing. If you are using the pre, so that is the pre-increment and pre-decrement operator, mixture of pre-increment and pre-decrement operators. So the first it will take the last one. Last one is the what is the pre-decrement. First it will decrement the 5 values. First whatever you see that here is clearly observed that the last one is the decrementing. 1, 2, 3 decrement operators are there. So that is the 10 minus 3. 10 minus 3 means you can get 7. So then, so after that 10 minus 3, that is the 7. And here at the same time 2 operators are there, plus operators. So that is the 7 plus 2, that is equal to 9. So all values will be printed 9, 9, 9, 9. I think here you see that some confusing in the 10, in the 16th rule. So here is always it is last one is pre-decremented, right? How many pre-decrement variables are there? 1, 2, 3. That means, so that is the initial value is decremented by 3. Means that is the 7. After that, increment operation will be performing. So how many pre-increments? 2 increments. So that is the 7 plus 2, that is equal to 9. So all the values will be printing 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. So that is the 7th rule. First decrement is performed, after that increment is performing. So here is the first, you see that you see always the last one. So in that case, the same variable I am applying. So the last one is the decrement, pre-decrement. How many pre-decrements are there? 2. That is the 10, that is equal to 8. And how many pre-incremented are there? 3. So 8 plus 3. So then you can get the 11. So all are printing 11, 11, 11, 11, 11 like this. Right? So this is the 17th rule. In the 17th rule, so if the all pre-incremented and pre-decremented, so that is the first, it will verify the last value. Last value is a minus minus. So then the first after that increment is performing next. So that is the reason we got the values 11, 11, 11, 11, 11 like this. Our 18th rule. First increment perform and decrementation is next decrementation is perform. For example, the same thing, but I interchanged 17th rule and 18th rule. So first I use the pre-decrement values, next pre-increment. So in that cases, so the first last one is the plus, that is the first pre-increment will be done. Pre-increment means that is the 2 pre-increment, 2, then that is the 12. So other 12, a decrement, that is the decrement value, so 12 minus 3, that is equal to, you are getting 999, 999. You see that only the difference is, but we are changing the printing positions. So first, so in the 17th rule, first we are printing pre-incremented variables, and next we are printing pre-decremented variables. But here is the same thing. First pre-decremented and next pre-incremented. The result is different. You can see that, right? Always that depends on a rightmost value in the increment and decrement variables. 19th one. If increment and decrement operators are used in expressions, they will be evaluated from right to left. Right to left. If a variable is used more number of times and everything is same as it is. Same as it is. For example, you see that. So that is if increment and decrement operators are used in the expression, they will be evaluated from right to left. Expressions also evaluating from right to left if the same variable is used more number of times and everything is same as it is. Suppose the same variable used in the expression, increment and decrement operators are, so then the evaluation should be from right to left. But actually in the assignment statement, the evaluation should be from left to right. But we are using that the incrementation and decrementation will be done from right to left. So what is the output of this? In this program, include stdio.h int main, int I is equal to 5 and j is equal to j. J is equal to I plus plus I plus plus, I plus plus. But here is the same variable we are using. So that's why here is, but expression that should be from left to right, evolution from the left to right, and left to right, but in the expression it will be from left to right, not that is the not right to left, evolution from right to left. They will be evolution should be, sorry, here is evolution should be from left to right, left to, because when you are using these in the same expression, suppose for example here is you are taken I plus 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 like this, then here is first I is equal to 5 and post increment first I and next plus I plus, that is the second I plus, that means so I plus is 6 and here is 7. So you can get output is, so that is the 18. So that is the 5, that means 5, 6 and 7. Why? Because here is the post increment value. Post increment means first I value is taken, next I is incremented. But that incremented is this one. Here is also again we are using post incremented. So then here is the 6 and there is 7. That is output you can get 18. 18. 5 plus 6 plus 7. But most of the cases the people will think that 6 plus 6 plus 6 that is equal to 18. But here is the value should be like this. 5 plus 6 plus 7 is equal to 18. The answer is 18, but here is the evolution should be like this. And in the 20th rule, the same thing, you see that if left side operator is a post incremented, so left side operator is a post incremented and right side operator is pre-incremented for any operation. So then no number of increment of left side value and is plus 2 is added to right side operator and operation is performed. So that is here you see that int I is equal to 5 and j is j. J is equal to I plus plus. This is the post incremented and this is the pre-incremented. So the pre-incremented means it says that is the right to left. So that is the how many plus operators are there? Increment operator, 2 operators. So then this is the same, whatever I explained in the previous case. So that is the 5 plus 2, 7. This is 7. And first one is the post increment, that is equal to 5. 5 plus 7 we can get. Here is 5 plus 7 is equal to 12. You are getting 5 plus 7 is equal to 12 we are getting. So that means here is the post increment we are using. That is the same operations we can use. 5 plus 7 is equal to 12. We are getting the answer. These are the 20 rules. So we can apply on the increment and the decrement. If you clearly understand these rules, wherever you use that increment or decrement operator, 100% you can succeed to give correct answer, right? So now I'm going to explain some of the, so that is the competitive examination programs and the next gate programs on increment and the decrement operators. So for example, you see that the first one, hash include stdio.h int main int I is equal to 5 j is equal to I plus 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 I plus plus into I plus plus. That is all our post increment operators we are using. But what is the output of this? But here is all our post means that is the 5. You see that? So that is the 5 plus 6 into 7. This is also post means all the I values are incremented. First this is a 5. After that it will be incremented by 1. It will become 6. And 6 here is the post increment. And here is the post means 5 6 into 7, that is equal to a 47. So we are using a 47 of this value. I think you understood that, right? So second one, you see that the same values, but here is I am using pre-incremented. The same program with pre-incremented. J is equal, so that is the include hash include stdio.h int main int I is equal to 5 j is equal to plus I into plus. That means here is so pre-increment. What is the rule? When you are using all the variables are pre-incremented and same variable, so it will take the initial value plus total number of increments. So that is the 5 plus 3, that is equal to 8. So then here is you can get 8 plus 8 into 8. So that 8 plus 8 into 8, that is equal to 72. You see that? In the same program, instead of using post increment, when you are using the pre-increment, the result should be different. In the post increment, we got 47. In the incremented, you got 72. But both are not same. I think you understood. So next, another question. You see that hash include stdio.h int main int I is equal to 5 j is equal to I plus I plus. But here is two post increments and one is the pre-increment. So pre-increment means always here is the 3 plus initial value, that is the 8. So then here is you can see that 5 plus 6 into 8. So here is you can get 5 plus, that is how many incremented operators are there? 1, 2, 3 operators. So that's why initial value is 5. 5 plus 3, that is equal to 8. And here is the post increment we are using. So then first I value is 5. After that it will be incremented 6, and that 6 is here is the 6 is printed. After that it will be incremented. It is a 7 and it is 8. So that's why you can get 5 plus 6 into 53. You got 53 values of 53. Now the same thing you see that plus and star. So here is the hash include stdio.h int main int I is equal to 5 and j is equal to plus I into I plus. But here is what is the output of this? 2 plus operators. Totally 3 means that is the 8 and 7. You see that? But here is when you see that plus pre-increment means always it will take the total number of increments plus initial value. 5 plus 3, that is equal to 8, and 5 plus 3, that is 8 is equal to 3. And here is before that, here is these are using in the expression. Before that, 2 increments of 1 and 2, that is equal to 2 plus 5, that is equal to 7. You are getting 67. Because in printf statement, it will be evaluated from left to right, but whereas in the expression, it will evaluate from left to right. But in the printf statement, that is the right to left. Sorry, in the expression, it is from left to right. So you got a 64, right? So you see that another question, include stdio.h int main int I is equal to 5 j is equal to I minus plus minus I. Here is I am using one is the post decrement and another one is the pre-decrement. So what is the output of this? And here is also I minus. Suppose here is I minus. That is the post decrement means first I value is taking. After that it will be decremented by 1. And here is the pre-decrement. We are using pre-decrement means, so that is the 5 minus 2, that is equal to 3. 5 plus 3, that is equal to 8. But when you are using this question, 3. The same thing, but here is I am using post. J is equal to I plus I plus. But when we are using these two, it should be from left to right in the expression only, right? So printf percentage d j. So then here is we are taking 5 plus 6. Then here is you take 5 plus 6, you are getting 11. So this is the post increment and this is the post increment. So that's why you are getting 5 plus 6 is equal to 11. And the next program, so hash include stdio.h into main into I is equal to 5 comma j is equal to I minus minus plus I minus minus. So both are post decremented. So then what is the output? Post decremented means in the expression, the evaluation should be from left to right. But in printf statement, evaluation should be from right to left. So then here is, if you take the 5, after that, so then 4, so you can get the 9. 5 plus 4, you are getting this one, 5. So 5, after that it will be decremented. So then here is, after that it will become 4, and 4 is printing because it is a post decrement. So then here is 5 plus 4 is equal to 9. I think you understood that. So next hash include stdio.h into main int I is equal to 5j. I minus minus plus j minus minus. So I minus. So j is equal to minus minus I plus I minus 1. One is the pre-decrement, another one is the post-decrement. So that is the pre-decrement means what? So always, so that is the number of decrements 2 minus 5, that is equal to 3. And after that, and here is the 4. We are taking that is the 4 values that we will be taking. That is, here is 3 plus 4. The reverse I have to write. So 3 plus 4. So then you are getting a 7. So that is the 3 plus 4 you have to get. Instead of that, I wrote 4 plus 3. Okay. So then you see that. So int main, int I is equal to 5, comma j. J is equal to plus plus I, plus plus I, plus plus I, plus plus I. But all are pre-incremented. Pre-incremented means what you can do that. But generally we think that 5 plus 5 plus, so that is the 5 plus 4, that is the 999 we are thinking. But here is the evolution in the expression, the evolution is different. You see, so plus plus I means, so then we are using 6 incremented plus, so that is the 8. So then 1, 2, 3, so that is equal to 8. And here is also first that will be taking these two, 5 plus 3 operators, and next that is, so that is the 9. So after that the same value will comes. For example, when you see that we are using 6 and 8 because 2 are there, and 1, 2, 3, 4, that is we are getting 8, 8, 8. So in this include as stdio.h, and here is the same thing, you can get 4 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1, that is equal to 9. So next you see that what is the output of, what will be the output of this following program. Int main x is equal to 4, y, z. Here is y is equal to minus minus x, and z is equal to x minus minus. Then what is the output of x, y, z? Then here is, you see that. So what is the y value? X minus minus. That means here is, it will take the 3. So after that, z is equal to x minus minus. What is the x value here? 3. So that is the 3 is assigned to this. So that's why z is equal to 3, y is equal to 3, and 2 times we are performing this operation, we are getting 2. X is equal to 5, 5. X is equal to x, sorry, z is equal to x minus minus means, so that is after decrement. First here is x is decremented by 1, that is the 3. After that here is, so the same 3 assigned to z, after that x will be decremented by 1. So that's why you get 3, 3, and x is equal to 2. I think you understood that, right? But within the statement, when you are using that, you can get 2, 3, 3. Most of the cases, so people will think that 3, 4, but it is 4. We can get it. Now you say, what will be the output of the program, of the following program? So include hash int main int I is equal to 3, printf percentage d plus I plus. But when you are using that I plus and plus, then compiler error will comes. Compiler error will comes. Right? That is the error. Because here is the two increment operators we cannot use. Even you can separate them with the braces, it is not possible. Compiler cannot distinguish these two. So what will be the output of the following program? Here you see that hash include stdio.h, hash include stdlib.h, void main int x comma y comma z. Y is equal to 2, x is equal to 2. Then x is equal to 2 into y plus and z is equal to 2 into plus y. But when you are using that, even you can use the braces. But so then that we will be taking the same procedure of this one, a pre-increment and a post-increment. First, that is the post-increment is a performance. So then here is x is equal to 4, y is equal to 4, and z is equal to 8. So that means here is the y plus means y value is 2. So 2 into 2, that is equal to 4. And 2 into 2, that is equal to 4 when it assigned to values of this one. And z is equal to 2 into 3, so that is equal to, suppose when in a plus y means that is the 2. So 2 into 3, that is equal to actually 6 we have to get, and but here is we are getting 4 only. That means here is when you are using 2 into 2, only this will be performing operations. But when you are using the braces, only first that is the multiplication. That is the multiplication will be performing in that case, and next will be taking the value of this. But here is the braces, when you are using the braces, so these values are not, these values are ignored. These values are ignored. So that's why you are getting 4, 4, and 8. 4, 4, and 8 of this one. Suppose here is you see that x value, so that is the 2 into 2, that is the 4, y value. So what is the y value? 2 plus 1, that is the 2 plus 1, that is the 2, that is equal to 4 you got, and the z is equal to 2 plus 4, then is equal to 8. We are getting z is equal to 8. I think you understood that. Sorry, this explanation is done some wrong way, but even now I explain this correct syntax, right? Y is equal to 2, x is equal to 2. Here is 2 into y plus. That means the 2 value is after assigning it will be incremented. So then here is, so the 2 into 2, that is equal to 4. X value is 4. After that, here is next that comes to z. So suppose here is the z. Z is equal to 2 into plus. Here is the 2 y plus 1 means 3. 3 plus 1 4. 4 into 2, that is equal to 8. So here is what will be the output of the following program. Here you see that hash include stdio.h, hash include stdio.lib.h, void main int b comma k is equal to 8. B is equal to k plus minus k plus minus k plus minus k plus. Here is you can see that a minus 22. You are getting answer is minus 22. Why it is a minus 22? K plus that is the 8 minus 7 plus you are getting that is plus minus 7. You see that. So that is the k plus that is equal to 8 and minus after that minus at the minus 7 plus and plus minus 6 minus 6 and here is that will be in the reverse. Suppose 6 minus 6 sorry, right, I will explain this. So first one is the k plus means that is equal to 8 we are getting. After that minus, here is the plus 1, that is equal to minus 9, right? And here is a minus 10 and minus 11. But when you see that, you can get the answer is this one. Answer is this one, and this is not the correct answer. So 8 minus 9 means minus 1, and minus 10 plus minus. So then here is we are taking that here is 8 minus 9 minus 10 minus 11. So that's why you got minus 22. Answer is minus 22. So what will be the output of the following program? Here is include stdio.h, include stdio.lib.h, void main int a comma z comma x is equal to 10, y is equal to 20. CLR is here, z is equal to x star plus plus y, a is equal to x into y. So z is equal to x into x means 10, 10 into plus plus y. Here is we are taking the plus plus y. Plus plus y means incremented by 1, that is the 21. So that is the 10 into 21, that is equal to 210. And here is x into y. X value is what? 10, and y value is 21. So then you get values of this one, 210, 210 and 21. 210, 210 and 21 of this. We are getting like this, right? Have you understood that? So because here is when you are using that green, white options. Okay, this is the values of this one, right? I think you understood that. So here is you are taking x is equal to 10 means x 10 into, so that is the y pre-incremented, that is the 21. So 10 into 21 you are getting, so 210, and x is equal to x value is 10 constant, and y is incremented by 1 year, and that incremented value is y, that is the 21, that is the, we are getting 210, and the next that is the y is equal to, so that is the 21, y is equal to 21, we got the values of this. So next this is what will be the output of the following program. Include hash include stdio.h into main into a is equal to 5 into b is equal to plus plus a into a minus minus. Now what is the output of this? Here is the plus plus is there and minus. Well, two increment operators. Then here is we can get 7 plus 6. So that is the 7 into 6. So then here is we can say that when you are using that, the plus plus operator means always you can get. So that is here is 6, and here is when you are using that, it is a 7 value of this one is 7, right? So then here is 1 plus 1, that is the 2. So 2 plus 1, that is equal to, actually here is you have to get the 7 into 6. 7 into 6 is equal to 42. That is the answer is. So 7 into 6 is equal to 42. You can see that. That just only I written 6 plus 7. That is the first plus plus is there. So that is the how many increment operators? 1 and 2. 2 plus 5, that is equal to 7. 7 into 6. That is after this, here is the one thing is there. So then you are getting plus. That is 7 into 6. That is equal to 42. We are getting, right? So next one is what will be the output of the following program? Then you see that either 44 or 45, 46 or 1. That means x into x is equal to 10, x plus equal to x plus 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 x and x. Then you see that the answer is 46. How the answer is 46? So the first one is x plus plus. X plus plus means it takes the 10 because it is a post increment plus pre-increment. Pre-increment means, so how many plus operators are there? 1 and 2. So then here it will become 12. So after that, the same value is in x, that is equal to 12. That will be taken. So after incrementing, so that is the x value will be 12, and this 12 is assigned to this, and this total thing plus x is equal to x plus. So that is the 10 plus 12 plus 12, that is equal to 34. 34 plus x, x plus is there. So shorthand notation. That's why here is we are getting a 46. I think you understood this, right? So then here is, you have to see that first one is x plus plus means here is a 10 it will take, plus here is a 12. Why? Because pre-increment. So pre-increment means it counts the total number of pre-increment or post-increments plus that is the initial value, 12. So after x will become 12, next we are using 12. So then it will be the 12. So that's why you get the answer is 46. So thank you. Thank you. I think you understood all the 20 rules and increment and decrement operators. So thank you for listening my lecture, and please subscribe my video. So that is my subscription is Dr. C. Nagaraju YVU. Thank you. Thank you. Good day.